Um, are you lost? Oh. Oh. You're hiding from your abusive boyfriend. Um, I'm sorry about that, I suppose. Sorry, I just don't know what to do about that. Because I want to help, stranger or not. How about this? I try to calm you down and not just hide from them, but I help you try to escape them. Do you live with them at all? Perfect. So, you don't live with them. That's a good thing. You're not stuck with them. What I'm gonna do is give you some things to calm your mind down. I've heard of some really great things that have helped me stay calm down in the middle of these dangerous woods. Because it helps me to stay calm and fall asleep when I need it most. And then afterwards, I'm going to send you on your way outside the camp to your car so you can drive away. He drove you and you don't drive. Don't worry, I have something for you to fix that at the end of these relaxation techniques. Can you trust me on that? Good. So, first off, you look cold. You're just in your pajamas. And I know this is Florida weather, and it's not too terribly cold, but I actually have some tights for you. I have a tent just behind me. Do you want to go inside and change? Okay. Let me just... This is one of the relaxation things I was talking about, ASMR, for example. Tights have been very useful out here. Keeps the bugs off my legs and keeps me warm during cold nights like these, or more chilly nights like these, because this is apparently what a normal day is like in other states. Now, actually just a little bit more. Sorry, just keeping an eye out for your boyfriend. Thank God he's a heavy sleeper, otherwise he might have woken up and gone after you. But I'm always out here making sure I have my own weapons so I can take care of myself. But I make sure, just for you, that he's not awake. I'm keeping my eye out for him. Anyone suspicious. So far, just me and you, which is a good thing. Not too terribly safe when you think about it, but you stumbled upon a gentleman, so good on you. So, tights. There you go. And I'll wait. You're back. Nice. How do you feel? Are they as warm as I hoped. Good. Now, I mainly gave those to you because those PJ shorts are not... You can keep yourself warm in the sheets, but you can't do the same for the streets. Or, in this case, the woods. Because you're out. So, in fact, keep them. Keep them. You might need them in case you have to come back here. Although I don't imagine why you would ever do that. You're trying to run away from your boyfriend. So, you want to see my tights, but you already see them down here. Boots and all. Standing up. Gotcha. Here they are. So, let's get started with the relaxation, shall we? First up, I have this scalp massager. This should help calm any tension in that scalp of yours and just make you feel better. How are you feeling? Good. Sorry about hitting your head. A little more of the nails before we continue. You seem to really like that. Now let's get the rest of you, the rest of that scalp of yours. Make you as calm as we can possibly start you out with. especially with your hair being out, you're gonna look mighty fine to most other creepers walking around this late at night. So, to minimize that at least a little bit, let's put this up. Let's put your hair up. Perfect. How do you feel? Too tight? Just right? Perfect. Alright. Next, I have something that I think you might enjoy. This is essentially a series of calming music that I listen to whenever I need to sleep or whenever I'm not being able to sleep. So, I'm gonna put these in your ears, and I'm gonna pull up. Oh yeah, phone's right here. And I'm gonna pull up a playlist of calming music, play at least one song, see how you feel after that. It's just gonna be a series of guitar string plucks. Let's tap this first. You seem to enjoy the nails against the massager, the scalp massager, so I figured why not try on this. once again. Seriously though, I can just show you like this. Okay, fine. Follow the hand movements that I do. This might be relaxing as well. Okay, I think that might be enough of the tights. But I'm glad you're interested in them. It's definitely one of my obsessions as well. Don't know if you're obsessed, but I'm extremely interested in them. Next trick I have for you is going to be reading a few chapters of Tom Sawyer. Chapter 1, The Great Whitewash. are kind of interested, but that's not what I'm going to be doing the whole time. What I have for you next is reading from The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. First 3 chapters, and then next will happen. Or after that will be the next tool, the relaxation tool. How are you feeling, by the way? I hope all of this is helping. Good. Good. Chapter 1, The Great Whitewash. Tom Sawyer was always getting into trouble. He was the kind of boy who just could not resist adventure. Tom lived with his Aunt Polly, his cousin Mary, and his half-brother Sid. Everyone was used to Tom's mischief, but Sid never missed a chance to tell Aunt Polly when he thought Tom was up to no good. That's how she found out that Tom was playing hooky from school and going swimming. Now, as a punishment for his behavior, Tom found himself faced with the chore of whitewashing 30 yards of fence on a sunny Saturday afternoon. That's a lot of fence. Sorry, I gotta find a better position. There's more comfortable. When everyone else was out, and what was worse, it was one of those warm summer days when everyone else was out playing ball or swimming, and there was Tom, all alone on the sidewalk, with a long-handled brush and a bucket of whitewash. He looked at the fence. It seemed enormous, and he knew it would take all day to give it only one coat. Tom began to think of all the fun he had planned for this day, and his sorrows multiplied. Soon his friends would come down the street, and he shuddered to think of how they would laugh to see him whitewashing a fence on such a beautiful day. There must be a way out of this situation. Of course you can't man up, because if you're punished, you gotta stick it out. Trust me when I say punishments are meant to help you. Tom emptied his pockets and looked at his worldly wealth, bits of toys, marbles, and trash. He might be able to bribe someone else to help him for a while, but there wasn't nearly enough to buy a whole day of freedom. Tom thought for a while, then an inspiration burst upon him. He picked up the brush and began to spread the whitewash slowly and peacefully over the fence. In only a few minutes, Ben Rogers came walking by eating a big, juicy red apple. Tom's mouth watered at the sight of such a treat, but he kept on painting and pretended not to see or hear Ben at all. "Hey there, Tom, what's up with you?" called Ben. "It's too bad you have to work on a day like this. I'm just on my way to the river for a swim. Too bad you can't come along." Tom looked at Ben for a moment and said, "What do you call work?" "Why ain't that work?" asked Ben, pointing to the fence. "Well, maybe it is and maybe it ain't," answered Tom. "All I know is that it suits me just fine." "Come on now, don't tell me you actually like it." "Like it? Well, I don't see why I shouldn't like it. It isn't every day that a boy gets to whitewash a fence." That puts things in a new light for Ben. He stopped eating his apple and began watching Tom work. Maybe there was something to this whitewashing after all, he thought. Oh, quite a trickster. I believe in astrology just the slightest bit, so I'm thinking he's either an Aries or a Gemini, considering his desire for adventure, coupled with his ability to make things seem a certain way, convincingly so. Maybe, oh yeah. "Hey Tom, let me try it for a while," Ben asked. No, protested Tom. "Aunt Polly entrusted this fence to me, and I can't just let anyone take over such a big job." But Ben continued to beg Tom to let him have the privilege of whitewashing for just a little while. Tom kept refusing until Ben offered him the rest of his juicy apple. Then that had been what Tom was waiting for. Tom sat in the shade and munched the apple while Ben swished the brush back and forth, sweating at his work. It was a wonderful idea, and as the other boys came by, Tom kept trading with them too. Wow. By mid-afternoon, the fence was completely whitewashed, and Tom was the proud owner of all sorts of treasures. His inspiration had certainly worked. All he had to do was make his chores seem to be fun, and the other boys were eager to do them for him. When the fence was completed, Tom went into the house. "Can I go out and play now, Aunt Polly?" he asked. "What? Already? How much have you done?" "It's all finished, Aunt Polly." "Tom, don't lie to me. I can't bear it," she warned. "Look for yourself," answered Tom, as he led his aunt to the window. "Well, I never!" exclaimed Aunt Polly. "You really can work when you put your mind to it." She was so pleased with Tom's work that she presented him with a large, juicy apple and told him he could go out, but to be home in time for dinner. Tom smiled, and when she turned her back, he slipped a sugar-coated donut into his left pocket. "How you getting along? You doing okay? You relaxing?" "I know it's been a while, but after this, I have just one more, and then I'll send you on your way, I promise." Good. Within a few minutes, Tom was out on the street, as free as a bird. As he passed the house where Jeff Thatcher lived, he saw a girl in the garden, a new girl he had never seen before. She was lovely. Her blonde hair fell in two long braids almost to her waist. Tom fell in love instantly. He tried to attract her attention by standing on his head and showing off in all sorts of silly ways, but she ignored him. Tom vowed that before the weekend was up, he would win her love. He skipped down the street, his head full of romantic plans and adventures. Chapter 2. Tom Meets Becky. It was Monday morning, and Tom Sawyer was miserable. He was always miserable on Monday mornings because it meant he had to go to school. Tom began to scheme. There had to be a way, some way, to avoid going to school. He could be sick and stay home, but as much as he tried, Tom could not find the least thing wrong with himself. He thought for a little while longer and then realized that one of his upper front teeth was loose. This was a really lucky break. Just as he was about to begin groaning and writhing in pain. Oh, what a drama king. He remembered Aunt Polly's way of pulling loose teeth, and Tom was in no hurry to suffer that particular pain again. Attaching a string to the teeth, then yanking a door shut to pull it out. That's worse than pulling it out yourself. I haven't experienced it, but I know it for a fact. So he went back to thinking. He remembered hearing the doctor describe an illness that had laid up a patient for 2 weeks and threatened to make him lose a finger. Tom had a sore toe, something he hadn't looked at or thought about in days. Now he wondered if he could possibly fool Aunt Polly. I'm too used to saying aunt. Since he didn't know the details about the illness, he figured a few loud cries of pain might do the trick. So Tom began to groan and moan with considerable spirit. Sid, who was laying in the next bed, did not even stir. Tom increased the volume and frequency of his cries, but his half-brother snored on. Finally, Tom shook Sid until his sleepy eyes opened in surprise. Tom began to groan again. "Tom, what's going on?" shouted Sid. "Oh, don't jump around so," moaned Tom. Despite Tom's protestations, Sid ran downstairs to tell Aunt Polly about Tom's apparent agony. I think he's dying," stammered Sid. "Rubbish! I don't believe it," snapped Aunt Polly. But she ran up the stairs as fast as she could. By the time she reached Tom's bedside, her face was white with fear. "What's the matter with you, Tom?" "Oh, Aunt Polly, it's my sore toe. It feels as if it's about to fall off." Aunt Polly sank into a chair with relief. She laughed a little, then cried a little, and then did both together. This made her feel so much better that she snapped at Tom. "Stop this nonsense. Get out of bed and get off to school immediately." All this made Tom feel quite foolish, and he stopped his awful groaning immediately. "Oh, Aunt Polly," he said, "it just hurt so much I never minded my tooth at all." No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Aunt Polly was carefully examining the loose tooth. In minutes she had tied a loop of silk thread to the tooth and the other end of the thread to the bedpost. Tom pleaded with Aunt Polly not to pull it this way, but it was no use. She left the room only to return moments later with a hot log from the kitchen stove. She thrust the log dangerously close to Tom's face. Then he jumped back and gazed in horror at the tooth dangling by the thread from the bedpost. On the way to school, the obvious gap in Tom's front row of teeth attracted the attention and envy of all the other boys. Maybe the pain was worth it after all, thought Tom. As he neared the school, he came upon Huckleberry Finn. Huck was the son of the town drunkard and was free to come and go as he pleased. He was always dressed in cast-off clothes and incredible rags. He slept in doorways or empty barns and never had to go to school or church. In short, Huck was the envy of every boy in town, but he was treated as an outcast by their own mothers. Tom waved to Huck, and the two boys got involved in a serious conversation about the best way to cure warts. Then Huck showed Tom a tiny tick that he had managed to capture. Tom's eyes lit up at the sight of the little creature, and he made a quick trade, his tooth for the tick. This little transaction made Tom late for school, and when he entered the classroom, Mr. Dobbins, the teacher, demanded an explanation. Tom was about to concoct a wonderful lie when he noticed the lovely girl with the long blonde braids. Tom also noticed that the only empty desk in the room was on the girl's side next to this mysterious beauty. Without a moment's hesitation, Tom answered, "I was with Huckleberry Finn." Everyone in the class gasped. Even the teacher was astonished. No one would ever actually admit being with a town renegade. In an instant, the teacher brought out the switch of hickory twigs and whipped Tom as a punishment. Then he ordered Tom to sit with the girls. This, of course, was exactly what Tom wanted. He quickly slid into the empty seat next to the new girl. Tom tried desperately to attract her attention. He offered her a lovely ripe peach, but she only tossed her head and looked away. Next, Tom began to draw something on his slate. He covered his work with his hand and appeared to be very involved in this activity. Soon, the girl's curiosity got the best of her, and she made an attempt to see his drawing. But Tom kept working on it and pretended to be totally unaware of her attentions. At last, she gave in and hesitatingly whispered, "Let me see it." Tom partly uncovered a drawing of a house with a brick chimney and smoke curling into a blue sky. The girl's interest grew. Soon she asked Tom to draw in people. "It's such a nice drawing," she said. "I wish I could draw." "It's easy," whispered Tom. "I'll teach you." The girl told him that her name was Becky Thatcher. Tom and Becky agreed to spend the lunch recess together, with Tom teaching her how to draw. Tom went back to his drawing, but this time he hid the slate from Becky. She begged to see it, but he refused. Finally, he gave in and showed Becky the slate. The words, "I love you," were printed in Tom's own steady handwriting. Becky blushed, but anyone could see she was pleased. I kind of lied. I thought it would be all 3 chapters, but I realized I saw the 3rd chapter at the place I wanted to stop at the beginning of it. So, final item is simply just, if you're comfortable with it, rubbing your head and face. Is that okay? Good. with some money. Hear that? That's a lot. And I want you to keep the rest. There you go. Now, find the nearest bus station. Get yourself as close to home as possible. Walk if you have to. Clearly you're gonna have to if you can't drive. And make sure to block him. Never see him again. Especially if he's been physically abusive like you've talked about. And I hope that you have enjoyed this session I've been able to give you. I hope that it was helpful, and good luck in life. I will definitely